Every time I get out, they pull me back in. Let's start off by bringing people up to speed on what Stephen A. Smith said about Jasmine Crockett that has a lot of Democrats with their panties in a bunch.
When I point to a Jasmine Crockett, it's because here's what I know. All I ever hear her doing is going off about Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, can I tell you what my belief is? I have no desire to be a politician. Let me reiterate that. And I appreciate House Leader, Democratic Leader Hakeem Jeffries speaking to me in the way that he did by saying that I speak with the frustration of the American people, because you damn right I do. Let me tell you what gets me annoyed. And I hope Jasmine Crockett is listening to this. And by the way, she's welcome on the show. When you go on national television and you calling the president of the United States out of his name, and you're being all disrespectful, as a representative in this country, do you believe the citizens of Texas sent you there to do that? They don't like him either. I'm talking about those who voted for her in all likelihood. But because he is who he is and he is in that position, they expect you to go to Capitol Hill and figure out a way to maneuver yourself through that terrain to work in a fashion that's going to facilitate getting things done on behalf of your constituents. That's your job. That's your job. Excuse my language on Sirius XM, but it ain't your job to say he ain't shit. He ain't worth a damn. That's not your job. Anybody can do that. He's a deal maker. And if you figure out a way to make him look good in any way, quid pro quo is something he lives by. He'll reciprocate. If you know that, why you can't figure it out? Is that hard?
Tim Black's BS detector.
Before we go any further, let me let you know the Tim Black Wolfpack is dedicated, committed, 10 toes down to reporting the truth, unbiased, and not working for any political party. If that sounds good to you, go to jointimblack.com, become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
But I gotta say, man, it's kind of crazy that Stephen A. Smith would even be doing this. I mean, what is he even talking about here? What's his real critique? I don't like the way you talk to Trump. That's some cap right there. I mean, that's pure cap, man. He's not criticizing her on anything substantive. Just respectability bullshit. I don't care about the way she talks to Trump per se. I care about the way she uses blackness to talk to Trump. That's what I got a problem with. Stop tying blackness into everything when you're going at this guy. That gets old. And also the obvious, it looks like a bunch of clout chasing on her part when she does it to get recognition, to get exposure, whatever. That's how it looks to me. But the difference is Stephen A. just sounds like he's just worried about Trump's feelings. Trump ain't worried about your feelings. Why are you worried about his? But before we get too far, let's go to Tiffany Cross, Angela Rye, Andrew Gillum, featuring Bakari Sellers, as they reprimand Stephen A. for reprimanding Jasmine Crockett.
Congresswoman from Texas, and yes. Texas has this open carry law. Governor Abbott is such a dangerous, problematic person.
He sets up a false argument.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How much attention is this taken away from you getting whatever you need for your district? The Republicans control the House of Representatives, right. The Senate and the White House. They not letting her get ish for her districts. And so the best she can do right now, not just for her district, but for the country, is to speak up and hold them to account at every single level.
She does. Are there black men that's listening to Stephen A. Bakari?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
but they would take that and take it seriously.
There are people who like
white men.
Yeah, and they think that they think that Jasmine Crockett talks with her neck.
No, I'm not just saying
it's too loud and snaps her fingers and all that, and they caricature her like he's doing.
Yeah.
And so my point though is that I didn't like the back and forth with Jasmine Crockett and Nancy Mace or whoever it was, right? I will tell you that there is a through line between the Ice Cubes and the Jason Whitlocks and the Stephen A. Smiths. And these individuals, and Ice Cube may be slightly different than the other two.
Slightly.
But these individuals have been around since we have been on this freedom struggle. There have always been individuals out there which exhibit behaviors of charlatans who utilize, some people are in it for the change and some people are in it for the change, right? And I think that that's indicative. And they find the easiest path to the front of the line. And Stephen A. Smith is someone who doesn't have the depth to talk about House oversight or the appropriations process, right? And how you're able to bring resources back to your community or what Jasmine is doing. So he rather lampoon her or instead of having a constructive conversation. And so I've said what I've had to say about Stephen A. Smith in my book. Anywhere I can. I don't have a lot of use for him in the political dialogue. I think that there are individuals who he matriculated with at Winston-Salem State University that are extremely disappointed about the man he's become.
It's so disheartening to me. It's frustrating, one, because
I know there are friends at Winston-Salem whom he matriculated with that don't feel good about the man that he's become. You could just do trying to big daddy. Just giving the hi-hat like a mug, isn't he? Man, these elite blacks are something else, ain't they, y'all? They were tripping, yo. Let's keep going. Here goes Tiffany. She's gonna sound a lot like the old Tiffany, though.
Anytime we speak on this, it's like man haters and all this. But I feel such confidence in black men. I've never bought into
She just said every time we speak about this, there's always people saying, man hater. I wonder why, Tiffany. It's like we have a complex, right? It's not what you say, it's us. Yeah, okay. Talk about delusional, man. This is delusional.
On this, it's like man haters and all this. But I feel such confidence in black men. I've never bought into the idea that all these black men are voting for Trump. Like, they vote overwhelmingly Democrat. We're pretty much in line with each other. What you all are saying is no, they are, and the data shows that there have been inroads among black men. I want to ask why, because it is frustrating to me, and it feels heartbreaking, to be honest, because we are impacted by this system as well. It's not a matter of who's impacted worse. We're impacted differently. We sit at the intersection of being black and being women. And so when men are frustrated with this system, it feels like they fight us. And I would put Stephen A. Smith in that category too. I'm mad at y'all for having joy. I'm mad at y'all for having success. I'm mad at y'all for surpassing us on college campuses. And so it's a small sect of men that are so angry and hurt that they're willing to align with the people who oppress us. What am I getting wrong? Because if you listen to Stephen A. Smith and you find anything other than some absolute pure self-hating little dick energy nonsense from that half-witted idiot basking in the non-existent rays of his own ignorance, it is sad to me that he even gets an audience of black men. Why aren't black men right now saying, F Stephen A. Smith, we banning him, we not listening to his podcast, we're not watching his show anymore? That's what black women do. We organize.
Yeah, but you asked the question why.
Yes, tell me why.
So, by the way, I love the usage of adjectives.
I'm sure I messed it up somewhere.
But the answer to the question why is kind of twofold. Black men showed up. We were the third largest demographic voting for. You had black women, you had Jews as a collective, and then you had black men, somewhere between 74.
You had Jews as a collective. That's the first time I heard anybody do a calculation about how many Jews voted. There's only like 12 of them. But that AIPAC money, man, that Zionism, boy, is strong in Bakari Sellers, isn't it?
76% voting for Kamala Harris. And so, yeah, it's not a large number. We still are there. But the slippage you've seen is twofold. The first is that there's been no party, no group, which for the past 20, 30 years has taken the time to listen to black men holistically. And many times we are spoken to about policy. That policy revolves around things like criminal justice.
Mm-hmm. Let me get this right. Hold on a second. Bakari Sellers just said, no party speaks to black men holistically about important issues. I guess that's what he's saying. Then why are you supporting the Democrats? And if you know they don't speak to black people's issues, why would black people ever support them? I wonder why he supports them. Everybody at that table supports him.
And marijuana. But very rarely do we have fulsome conversations about the black men who are out there struggling to pay for early childhood education, child support, right? How that
wages.
When the craziest thing is when you get locked up for child support, do you know that your child support continues to grow? Of course.
Wow. I didn't know that child support keeps going, Johnson. Jesus, I didn't know that. I'm so detached from black people's problems. I mean, working class black people problems. I think we got enough here, Johnson, to go ahead and do this. All right, so here we go. Made a couple notes because I didn't want to miss anything. This is an important segment. First of all, man, my critique of Stephen A. stands. I think Stephen A. just wants Jasmine Crockett to come on his show, frankly. Yeah, I think that's what this is all about. Getting her as an audience to come on and to kind of rip her a little bit and then invite her on the show and get her on the show. And he just had Akeem Jeffries on. So, yeah, he's doing this. I think he just wants an audience. I've been trying to get Stephen A. on the show, on my show, and Jasmine Crockett on my show. So I know what that's like. That's what it sounds like to me. I don't think he said anything that was all that crazy about Jasmine Crockett. Everybody thinks she showboats. The fact that these four Democrats don't think so, I get it because they can't be honest about anything. Most regular Americans who aren't tied to a party feel that Jasmine Crockett is all show and no pony. That's what they feel. And an opportunist, just like Stephen A. Smith. But I think the most problematic thing, because we knew that about Stephen A. Stephen A. is the most opportunistic guy in media. He's on every side of every issue. He's like Hillary Clinton if she was a black man. Okay, that's what he is. Triangulation on every issue. Tiffany Cross, she's weaponizing gender here. She cross-framed Stephen A.'s frustration as an attack on successful black women. What is this? Can't Stephen A. have a criticism for Jasmine Crockett without it being about every black woman walking the earth? That is possible, right? We can do that. It's like Tiffany Cross, she left, before she got fired from MSNBC, she was talking the same way about black men. And what does she do? The moment she's got an issue with any black man, she goes right back in her bag, a black man ain't shit bag. Right back in it. Oh, and they were jealous of their education, were jealous of how well black women do. No, it's just that we got criticism for Jasmine Crockett. I had criticism for Jasmine Crockett and Cory Booker and James Clyburn and Tim Scott and Stephen A. No hate, just criticism. We all can get criticism. I've had criticism of you too, Tiffany Cross. And speaking of that, it is emotional bait, not logic. When you frame it that any disagreeing with black women that it means that you hate black women. That's lazy framing. It keeps us from addressing the core issue. And the core issue that Stephen A. brought up is that Jasmine Crockett seems like a bunch of hot air. She just does. It's annoying. Okay, and anybody in media would tell you that. But she says, the same issues black men keep saying nobody listens to. The same issues, yes. Jobs, wages, business, all these things we're trying to get done that are so important that are way outside of politics. Working class black men are concerned with things beyond Democrats and Republicans fighting over who has the better logo on their shirt, when both parties aren't about the working class. And neither are the four of you, by the way. Andrew Gillum had nothing to say. I don't know what Angela Rye's doing. Maybe she's just trying to stay out of the way as Tiffany Cross makes gaslights for effect. And Bakari, I don't even know what he was talking about. Cross's rant, the self-hating little dick energy part, is the same type of personal insult bullshit that we expect from her. She think because she can alliterate a couple of takedown words that's going to win the argument, and it doesn't. She got the same men-hating women that watch her who got a couple degrees and no man. That's her group. That's her side. That's who rocks with her. And maybe that's why, because she's full of that shit. Now, how does that feel? Is that personal insult good for you? I think it's a legitimate inquiry, because it does seem like that's what you've been on for the past 6 years, 7 years. Protecting the party instead of protecting the people. That's how you guys all come across, like what's most important is Democratic Party. But that's not what's most important to us, and that's got nothing to do with our critique of Jasmine Crockett or any other politician. It has to do with the issues, but the way Jasmine Crockett jumps in front, and let's be real, guys, there are a lot of black congresswomen that we don't talk about, that aren't in front of the cameras, showboating and dropping memes and videos and doing all this crazy antics. Yeah, Jasmine Crockett wants the attention. If she didn't want the attention, she wouldn't do the shit she does. I mean, she had a viral video doing Kendrick Lamar, and she's in her mid-40s. You're going to say that person isn't putting themselves out there in an opportunistic fashion? Tiffany's defending Jasmine Crockett like a PR rep, not a voter. Yeah, I'm thinking you're doing an Olivia Pope. What is this we doing? Are you being a commentator, a political strategist, or are you just being her hitman, her hit woman? Because that's what it seems like. You can't clap back your way to policy. Black folks can't eat symbolism and sass. And that's all it seems like you guys have. Symbolism and sass. And when you line up and say, I'm with the Democratic Party, and this is who I stand for, and equate everything through the lens of Democrats, and that shouldn't be the way it is, because you are a journalist, you're a commentator. Why are you lined up with parties? You're supposed to be standing for the people. See, I never have any conflict because I'm not Republican or Democrat. I want what's best for Black Americans. Y'all niggas ain't niggas. Y'all niggas is Democrats. Just like cops are people, black cops, a lot of black cops are black cops. They are blue. They bleed blue, they blue and through. And that's you guys. That same theory, it works the same way for you too. Or you four. And my main concern or my main critique of Jasmine Crockett is, I really don't care how loud you yell. It's just when you continuously when you drag Black America into your yelling, that's when I raise my head up. And I gotta call you on the carpet for that. Because you are invoking all of blackness. I come from a people that this and that. I come from a people this and that. And what you are fighting for typically is nothing substantive. It's just to make noise. It's just to be seen. At least that's how it comes across. But once again, I'm not even talking to Jasmine Crockett. It's like I'm talking through four of her bodyguards or reputation guards. Bakari Sellers. He calls anybody that thinks different a grifter. But to us, Bakari, you're a grifter. Yeah, you think just because you're a Democrat, you can't be considered a grifter. By the way, Bakari, Democrats are not the party of black people. There is no party for black people. Neither one of these parties serve the interests of working class or Black Americans. So, earth to you, maybe you could wake up one day and realize that you just as much a sellout as Tim Scott. You just as bad as Jason Whitlock. And if you was looking through a lens, if you unfog your lenses, you'd see Jasmine Crockett and Stephen A. Smith are both opportunists and very much similar. They both talk loud to get as much attention as possible. Comparing Stephen A. with Ice Cube and Jason Whitlock is some bullshit. Like, Ice Cube, he put together a document that you Democrats just can't stand, that the guy was willing to talk to the Republicans. I disagree with Cube on a couple things, but you probably agree with him. I disagree with him about deportation. I think we need deportation. I think we need a border. He recently spoke out against it. That's right in line with your Democratic Party, isn't it? How are you going to lump Jason Whitlock and Ice Cube and Stephen A. in the same bucket? They're different people with different points of view, all of which I can find points where I disagree. But I disagree with you too. Black men are tired of being lectured by elites. And what we have here is a perfect example of that. As four elites sit at the table lecturing black men about what makes sense for them. And then go on this thing about who voted for what. Are we still stuck on who voted for Kamala and who didn't? $2 billion and you can't get the job done, and somehow it's black men's fault. Somehow black men didn't do enough. Somehow we still have to listen to lecturing from the great and mighty Tiffany Cross. And spineless Bakari Sellers, who couldn't come up with any type of retort to her throwing us under the bus. Andrew Gillum, I don't even know why you would sit there and talk shit about somebody not liking black women. If anybody got a problem with black women, it would appear to be you, brother. Low blow. True though. Mean but honest. Back to my point I made during the clip. Bakari Sellers just sat there and he admits neither party holistically deals with black men in any substantive way, then my answer is, aren't you a black man, Bakari? Or my response is, Bakari, aren't you a black man? Why are you fucking with him then? Why do you ride for him so hard then, Bakari? You're not a politician. Why are you riding for him? You're not running for office. Why are you riding so hard for a party you just admit doesn't pay black people, black men particularly, any fucking respect? Then how can you chastise another black man for having a critique of that same party? And then any critique of anybody black or a black woman is somehow an indictment of all black women. When we critique black men, it's not an indictment of all black men. And Bakari, before you speak too soon, remember, I was in Ohio with you when we both supported Nina Turner. Not only did I come there, not only was I there supporting a black woman, I brought my whole fucking family. And you were too high-hat and elitist to even introduce yourself. Meanwhile, Killer Mike was a gentleman. He met my whole family, and we had an interview. You couldn't even say hello, nigga. I'm not upset about it. I'm just pointing out your elitist streak in real life since I met you in real life. When we were there with Dr. Cornell West, Danny Glover. You remember, it wasn't that long ago. Stephen A., Tiffany, Bakari, Andrew, Angela, all of you are arguing in the same sandbox, but at the end of the day, are you really arguing about what's best for the people, or are you just worried about egos? It seems like egos. It seems like someone's feathers got ruffled. There's some substantive argument really to be had. Stephen A. was talking about semantics, talking about Trump's feelings as if we give a shit, and you're talking about Jasmine Crockett's feelings. No one's really talking about black people's issues. And that's where we come in. Well, that's where I come in. That's where, well, the people that support me come in. That's when people of working class background come in, because we are tired of this fight between the elites. Conservative whites chose Stephen A. And liberal whites chose Jasmine Crockett. And the black working class chose neither of them. We can disagree without turning every critique into a full-out gender war. And when you elites argue, the focus is taken off of working class people and put on you. We want that focus back on our issues because we're the ones that need government to work for us. You guys appear to be working for jobs, upward mobility, and screen time. We want government to work to take care of resources in our communities. And that's a big difference. Some of us have a motivation that's about the people, and it seems that some of us have a motivation. I'm talking about you. I'm looking at you, Bakari, and you, Tiffany, that's focused on your damn selves. And that's just not worth the conversation. Let me know what y'all think, guys. My name is Tim Black. You know how to follow me. Go to timblacktv.com. I'll see you at 10:30 p.m. for our live show. Maybe I'll have more to say then. The question isn't who speaks the loudest. The question is who is speaking on behalf of working class black Americans. That's the question.
The Tim Black Show streams Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wolfpack.